Missing this year-end deadline means leaving thousands of dollars on the table. Here's what you need to do before December 31st. The retirement contribution deadline. Yeah, for 401k plans, December 31st is a hard deadline. You can't make the 2025 contributions after year end. You lose that year's opportunity forever. You lose the employer match if you haven't contributed, and you lose the tax deduction for 2025. The math of missing it is not maxing your employer match, right? If the employer match is 50% up to 6% of your salary and your salary is 80 grand, you ought to be contributing 4,800, which is 6% of your $80,000 salary. Yeah. And the employer match is 50% of that, or 2,400. And you've only contributed $2,000 so far. Ooh, you're missing a match. You're leaving $1,200 on the table. No one of us would walk by $1,200 sitting on the sidewalk with no one else around without stooping it over, picking it up and thanking the good Lord or whomever put it in our path. And why do we leave money on the table with our retirement plans? Let's stop that. Now, how to fix it before year end. Step one, check your year-to-date contributions. That's easy enough. Look on your paycheck, call your HR department, log into your 401k account, note all of the amounts that you've contributed, and then calculate the remaining paychecks, because you have to tell your HR department before you've received the money in order to, process that pre-tax or after-tax contribution to your plan. You have to delegate it and indicate to them you want to contribute it to your plan before you earn it. And I actually advise some people to take the whole month of December and put it in order to maximize their plan, not just to the employer match, but to maximize their plan. And it really works snappy. Then you're going to fill the gap to get to your maximum contribution if you can, right? So you just divide by the remaining paychecks, bada bing, bada bang. So here's an example. If you need $2,000 more for a full match and you got 2 paychecks left, increase your contribution by $1,000 per paycheck. Step 3, update your contribution immediately. Contact HR or payroll and say, hey, get me a bigger contribution, and this is what I need between now and year end. You're going to submit the increase request. You're going to confirm that the changes have been processed. And the second that check comes into your possession, you're going to double check that they've done it correctly. Don't wait. Some companies need weeks to process these changes. So the tax savings bonus is if you contribute $10,000 and you're in a 22% tax bracket, Uncle Sam just basically gave you $2,200 in tax savings. Yeah, you're not going to pay tax on the contribution if it's pre-tax, right? And so if you're in a 22% bracket, you just save $2,200 in tax savings. If you're in a 24% tax bracket, you just save $2,400 in tax savings. And I know you're doing the math right now in your head because you're smart. And so you say, if I'm saving $2,400 in taxes, maybe I can actually afford to contribute $200 a month more. And voila, you win the prize. Plus, your employer match is contributing and compounding and all the future growth. So a real example is $5,000 more contributed before year end. Yeah, you have a $2,500 employer match, again, 50%, $1,200 tax savings if you're in a 24% bracket, and the total immediate benefit is $3,700. That's an instant 74% return. So the compound growth impact is even more eye-popping, at least to me. $5,000 contributed now versus never. 7% annual growth for 20 years is $19,348. 30 years, $38,061. Missing this December 31st deadline could cost you $38,000 plus in future wealth. Now, what if you can't afford these big increases? Well, even a small increase can help. So increase by 1% of salary. On a $60,000 salary, it's $600 a year. With a match, $900. Tax savings, $150. Net cost to you, $450. You see, your contribution isn't really all coming out of your own pocket because you get supplements back from the taxes that you don't owe. Because if you're making $100,000, your W-2 is not going to say $100,000. If you're making a $10,000 contribution, it's going to say $90,000. Special considerations, highly compensated employees. You may have contribution limits, and so you're going to check with HR. If you have multiple jobs, the total contributions across all employers count towards your overall limit. So you want to be cognizant of that. If you change jobs mid-year, check that you didn't over-contribute across both employers. And you may want to not quit your current job until after December 31st, because believe it or not, some companies pay out their contributions to their plans once a year, and it's generally at the end of the year. So how to make all this stuff happen if money is tight? You reduce your other spending temporarily. You just say, temporarily, I'm going to reshift and redirect monies into my retirement. Because who doesn't want more money in retirement? You're going to use a holiday bonus, for example, and slam it right into the 401k or 403b. You're going to delay non-essential purchases. You're going to think of it as paying yourself first, and who's more important than you? So if you've forgotten till now, better late than never, max out your final paychecks. Every single dollar helps. Get as close as you can. And then for future planning, 2026 and thereafter, set it and forget it. Elect your contributions in January, calculate it to the max so that you reach it by December. The whole process is automated. Believe me, you will feel it the first month, and thereafter you will not feel it, because that's how automatic works. And you're going to review it mid-year to adjust. If you got a pay raise, you may want to put a portion of that pay raise in order to continue to max. Here's the bottom line. Missing the December 31st 401k and 403b deadline means losing employer match forever for that year, losing the 2025 tax deduction, losing years of compound growth, leaving thousands on the table. And yet taking action before year end means capturing free employer money, reducing our 2025 taxes, starting compound growth immediately, setting up better financial futures for us and our families. So the clock is ticking. Contact your HR department today if you need to increase your contributions. Don't let December 31st pass and regret it for the next 30 years. Have you maxed out your employer match this year? If not, will you increase your contributions before year end? I'm Debra Morrison, encouraging you to do just that. Share your commitment below. We're eager to celebrate with you.